Finally, coming with the biggest swagger yet, we have the third iteration of the main character sliding in with some killer dance moves and a pretty solid kit. They really couldn't let a Harmony take a loss, couldn't they? As the Harmony MC will be free, let us take a look at its potential. And spoiler, it is definitely there. Also, I will refer to the MC as her because Stelly supremacy. Out of the gate, the basic attack is nothing fancy in terms of numbers, but it sure is in terms of animation. With her skill, she throws her newly acquired hat in the air, deals 1 instance of damage, and through sheer magic, the hat splits into additional copies of Clocky, hitting a random enemy for up to 4 additional times. The important part to note about the skill is the potential toughness damage it can do, especially in single-target scenarios where all hits will hit the same target. This is further supported by the A4 major trace, which enhances the toughness reduction of the first instance of damage by 100%, and through her Eidolons, but more on that a bit later. Pirouetting over to her ultimate, after performing her dance with Clocky, she will provide each ally with the backup dance effect, which will increase their break effect by 33% at level 12, which is a pretty decent amount, and will also allow them to deal an instance of super break damage when they attack an enemy who is already weakness broken. This super break damage scales based on your character break effect and its level. It's also affected by any additional weakness break efficiency you may have. Also important to note is that this damage cannot crit and is not affected by damage boost effects. The duration of this effect works in a similar way to Robin's and Ruin May's skills, meaning it is tied to when the Trailblazer's turn starts. The A2 trace will also further boost this ability by increasing the damage from the super break based on how many enemies are present on the field when you cast the ultimate, maxing out at 60% when you are against a single enemy. The talent will generate 11 energy every time for the Trailblazer when an enemy target's weakness is broken, which is honestly an amazing effect to have 100% uptime on her ultimate, especially in AoE scenarios like Pure Fiction, where you will have no problem breaking multiple enemies consistently. And to top it off, once you unlock the A6 major trace, you will also delay the enemy target's action by 30% when allies break enemy weaknesses, which is a nice defensive effect. And for her technique, she will provide another 30% break effect buff to each ally at the start of the fight for the first 2 turns, which is a nice buff, but unless you are attempting to zero cycle, it has a pretty low uptime. From her minor trace stats, she will get 37.3% break effect, 14.4% imaginary damage bonus, and 10% effect resistance, which honestly are amazing stats, since all of them are stats she will want. With all of this combined, what can be surmised is that the Harmony MC looks to be the premier supportive option for all units that are focused on break damage, such as Boothill, Sushang, or Shuei. With this in mind, I think it is safe to say that this new form has taken the crown as the best version we have of the Trailblazer. And it also looks like it will have a great degree of usage in the future, as any future break DPS will love to join her dance crew. For Eidolons, her E1 will provide 1 skill point for the first use, which is another incentive for all of you out there looking to zero cycle MOC 12. But for everyone else, this one will be insignificant in most of the fights. But hey, 1 free skill point is a 1 free skill point, so we should take the win. E2 will grant a 25% energy regen for the first 3 turns, which will help you get your ultimate quicker, and considering this one has a higher uptime compared to her previous effects, most players should feel this one more consistently. It will also allow you to go for a break effect rope instead of an energy one. E4 is another break effect buff based on 15% of Trailblazer's own break effect. The important thing to note here is that this one has no limit or uptime. As long as she is alive on the field, this one will be active. So try to aim for as much break effect as possible in order to maximize the buff from this. And at last, E6 will increase the additional hits from her skill from 4 to 6, which will increase the toughness reducing potential of this ability even further, especially in single target scenarios. Considering we will also get all her eidolons for free, there is literally no reason not to build and join her crew as well. For Relics, Watchmaker will have the biggest team benefit. Thief will be a fine alternative as well, while you farm for Watchmaker or Messenger if you want to lean in more to the speed boost. For planar sets, Talia will be the obvious winner, but you can also use Fleet for more survivability if needed, or Penacony if you plan to use her with an imaginary DPS. In terms of main stats on your gear, you have a couple of options. You can go for a balanced build focusing on maximizing the durability and buff of the Trailblazer by opting for HP or defense percent body, speed boots, HP or defense percent orb, and break effect rope. Alternatively, if you want to maximize the damage done by the Trailblazer mainly through her skill and at E6, you can go swap the body for an attack percent 1 and the orb for an imaginary damage or attack percent 1. My recommendation would be to go for the balanced build. For substats, aim for as much break effect and speed as possible, with additional attack, HP, and defense being usable. As to how much break effect and speed, I would aim for around at least 150% break effect and 134 speed. If you can get 160 speed, even better, although you need some insane luck for that. For Light Cones, as she is more focused on break effect, both Ruin May's signature and the 4-star Memories of the Past are the only two that also have a break effect stat on them. Like Robin, where you want as much energy regen as you can so you can keep the uptime on the ultimate, Bronya's signature will be a good option. Apart from this, Planetary if you plan on pairing her with an imaginary DPS. Dance, 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 and Past and Future are also fine alternatives. For teammates, any unit that focuses on break damage will work just fine. Ruin May is an incredible pairing with her, and with these two and a break-focused DPS, I am pretty sure we do not currently have something in the game tough enough to last more than 2 or 3 rotations. You should also look at Gallagher for the sustain option, as he will be able to further boost the break damage of the team. And that should be the Trailblazer show for today. Hopefully, you are now fully capable of staging the best performances with her in the spotlight. But I also want to know what your opinion is on the newly introduced version of the Trailblazer. Did you think its potential has been met? Do you see yourself looking at those dance moves in the future as well? Or are you planning on waiting for a future path before you start building your Trailblazer? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I am Professor Veritas Ratio, and remember, stay smart and sexy.